I'm really in wonder how are you managing two dance forms? For me, it's not possible.
And that's what, like, now after 15 years, I'm mentally into that Odyssey style. So the body movements come comfortably, even if I'm not consciously thinking about it. So I thought this would have been a nice chance to try and learn something new. Because after a point, you're just doing it mechanically. And I also feel if I'm dancing, I need to actually.
Okay, welcome Renata to Danceathon Finisher interview series. I'm very happy to have you as an finisher of this Danceathon and
Thank you,
watching
ma'am.
your videos. They are beautiful. So
Thank you,
introduce
ma'am.
yourself, then we go forward.
I'm Renata. By profession, I'm a nutritionist and I'm also an Odissi dancer. So I gave my Visharad exam in Odissi this year, and that was why I wanted to learn some other dance form, but just dipping my toes because I know handling different dance styles would be a little difficult for the body to adapt. So that was why I joined the danceathon. So it was that little 5 week kind of session, and the way you explained in the initial webinar that you would be teaching basics with a little choreography put together at the end, so that was fitting perfectly into my schedule at the moment. So that was why I came into this danceathon, and I really enjoyed the experience, especially your observations in class. And so in Odyssey, I'm used to moving in a certain way. So from here, I just come here, and you repeatedly keep telling me, like, cover the bicep, bring the elbows down, but put the palms up. So those little nuances, like, and in 5 weeks to do that. So I really liked your attention to detail and the personal feedback that you gave on all of our videos. So like I was unable to attach them on Facebook. But I was looking over the feedback that you gave other students as well. So something you can learn from everybody. So that was my takeaway from these 5 weeks, that even
Oh,
if you do a
wonderful.
little, you can use it and create something beautiful out of it.
Oh, wonderful. Great. So, are you a nutritionist and learned Odissi on the side, right? For your interest.
I have a master's degree in nutrition, and Odyssey I started after college, in fact. So I started Odyssey also as an adult. And it's been 15 years of Odyssey now, but my exams were spread over a period of time because in adulthood, once you're out of that entire exam scenario, to get back into studies, especially the theory, because you're not used to physically sitting and writing an exam for 3 hours. So once I was done with the Visharad, I wanted to try out another art form. And this just came right at the perfect moment where I could do something. And I still have my Odyssey trainings, in fact, on weekends. So this weekday class really worked out well for me. And it once a week means you get the whole week to practice and come mentally and physically prepared for the next class.
Oh, wonderful. So, I'm really in wonder how are you managing two dance forms? For me, it's not possible.
And that's what, like, now after 15 years, I'm mentally into that Odyssey style. So the body movements come comfortably, even if I'm not consciously thinking about it. So I thought this would have been a nice chance to try and learn something new, because after a point you're just doing it mechanically. And I also feel if I'm dancing, I need to actually think of a choreography. But if, like, in Odyssey we have our set routines, there is a repertoire that comes. So after a point you're just doing it out of habit, but you know that you need to think and put in a little more and make it a little better each time.
Right. In fact, one of my very close friends, she has been an Odissi dancer and we used to learn Kathak together. So she used to do both. So I learned a
Okay.
lot of grace from her movements. Odissi is a very graceful dance. Kathak is speedy and it
Hmm.
has a combination of soft and speed. But Odissi is a lot about grace and, your every
In
movement.
fact,
Yeah.
yesterday you took a run through of what we did on all the in the previous 4 weeks. So my feet are actually hurting now with all the quick movements. So in
Uh,
Odyssey, it's more sculpturesque. We do have heavy footwork, but it's not that fast because we are squatting down, we are not standing.
Right.
So yesterday, 1 hour of just that continuous movement. So I am feeling it in the feet now. So yes, the body has to adapt to a different art form.
Right. Right. All right. Good. Anything else that you would like to share? One thing I would like to ask you: how did you feel a change in your feeling while taking up Kathak as compared to when you do Odissi?
What I felt was in Odissi, we mostly our choreographies are set to Oriya poems or the Sanskrit poems, and we have certain our pallavis are just pure rhythms. But the storytelling does not extend beyond that classical literature structure. Whereas in Kathak, I feel there's a lot more possibility for exploration. So the little choreography that you taught us yesterday, where you're telling a story, that is not just limited to classical literature, but you can get a little contemporary literature feel to it also. So I felt Kathak helps you explore more, whereas Odyssey is more restricted into the classical text. You can't experiment too much.
Where are you from, Renata? Which place?
I'm in Mumbai.
Okay. And how did you pick up Odissi?
So before Odyssey, I was actually into ballroom dancing.
Oh,
And I was learning salsa with Sandeep Suparkar at this, it was this multi-art facility. So the Odyssey class just happened to be down the corridor, and I heard them one day, and I was just curious, and I went to see because Odyssey as a dance form is not extremely popular in Mumbai compared to West Bengal and
that's
Orissa.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. So I was familiar with Bharatnatyam and Kathak because we see a lot of those dances here. But when I saw them dancing, it was not something I was used to seeing before with the torso movements and the head and the neck and the bend. So I went to inquire and then I just joined them. Now, this was 15 years ago, 2009, when I started. So
Beautiful.
I joined them and I've been my same guru for all these years.
Okay, wonderful. Great. Mm, how were these 5 weeks for you learning Kathak? How would you put
I
them in words?
I found them educational and also fun, especially your analogies when you want us to think about how to do a particular step, like when you say cover the biceps, or if we are coming out, or if we are coming to the side and we are pulling the wrist in, especially on an online class when the guru is not physically there to hold you and mold you in that shape. Those little tips, like for us to keep in mind, no, it really helps when you say pull from the wrist and not just bring your hand in. And when you said keep the armpit in place and don't just stretch out like that, those little nuances of how to move your body. And I felt that was really helpful because in a 5 week class, you could have just taught us a little bit of footwork, put together a Bollywood dance class, semi-classical routine, and it got it over with. But you really paid that attention to us and you wanted us to learn. In every class we were revising the previous session, we were learning something new, we were growing as dancers and also as people. When you bring in that meditative aspect, sometimes you just need to breathe to understand what's happening, because we are so caught up in the hands matching the feet and looking at you or wondering where to look there, where should our eyes be. It's like sometimes you bring us into ourselves and get our thoughts into place. And one thing I really liked where you ask us, have you all mentally understood the step? Because as dancers, sometimes we get so frustrated that we are watching the teacher, but we can't pick it up. And what do we do now? But you keep telling us it's okay. Physically, the body will adapt to it. But as long as we mentally know what is happening, we can practice it at home. We have a week to come back. And also insisting that we take 5 days to share the homework and don't just watch you in the class and do it in the next hour and send it to you. You want us to put in that effort even for the homework, spend time over it, practice the routine. That was another point I really liked about taking those 5 days and submitting the workout on Sunday or Monday. So ensuring that we practice 10 minutes each day, that's all we need. You don't need to take out a whole hour and then waste time wondering what to do. 10 minutes each day, that was what I was doing. So even if I'm sitting, I can practice something like this. Just get the wrist movements instead of just coming out like that. I practice this and I get this. So the small tips that you give, in fact, no, and I keep a notebook, so I write down all of that because then sometimes it just flies away after the class. So those little things that, and especially the once a week class really worked. So we get the remaining days to think through it, settle down in it, and practice and come prepared for the next class. And also the little choreography at the end, because at the end, I was so used to counting that yesterday with the song, I was still counting and I wasn't really paying attention to the music. So ultimately, that's our goal. We need to work with rhythm and not continue be stuck up in counting. So I really loved the way you paced the class and your method of teaching and your patience in solving all our queries. So it was a beautifully planned out Nansathon.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Really
You
pleased
brought
with my experience and grateful to you for starting something like this and for older dancers especially because not many people of our age group get opportunities to learn from start. So I have been to my Odyssey Guru and I joined in adulthood with little children. And we know as adults, the body is not going to be able to match up with that, however physically fit you might be. But for an adult class like that, that is tailored for adult learners. Something like that. That's something I really appreciate. And I'm grateful to you for doing that for us.
Thank you, because this is one of the reasons of starting it. Because even if you have that desire and you want to learn, sometimes your ego doesn't allow you to learn it with kids. You want them to learn, it's okay, my age is over, my time is done, I don't need. So, that kind of encouragement, I think this is our own
Hmm.
heritage. We need to take that pride and
Hmm.
ownership, only then we can learn it. Otherwise,
Hmm. And I feel as adults, we are also more interested in the stories and the mythology, in something that we can use this art form for. Whereas children are just doing it maybe because the parents are forcing or the school is giving them extra marks. And I feel there are not many opportunities for adult beginner learners over here where classes are made for us to learn right from the theory and the practicals going side by side because the interest level is more, and as an adult you can space out your time, you can take out time to practice. You're not just rushing from one class to another, you're not doing it for the marks, you're doing it because you actually want to do it. So I feel this is a really lovely initiative that you have taken of curating this entire session for adults to learn.
thank you. I think only an artist and you've been a learner for so long. That's how all this is coming out, and this really matters a lot to me because it gives me enough encouragement to continue this. So, thank you very much.
And because
And
I've been learning and I've been in classes with children, and sometimes the gurus are not able to customize the class for everyone. So it's just that I'm showing it, you have to follow. So we don't get that little individual attention to your body shape, your shape. So this is really something that's needed, especially for a classical art form, so that the legacies can continue.
right,
Otherwise, it's just lost. Children are doing it. By the time they're teenagers, off to college, it's gone.
it's
And
gone.
it's only the families that continue. If you think about it, if your parents are dancers, then the children get into it. But otherwise, like I don't have any dancers in my family, so people like me who never got a chance to watch classical dances in school or college, we weren't really exposed to that. So it's only through going out in the field and watching shows that we get to learn things like this. So more education is needed in these matters. And that's what I like the way you're doing this, where you're letting people know that anyone can learn at any age. The education is there, but we need opportunities and accessibility to it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for saying this. I needed to hear it also. All right, very nice. Anything else that you would like to say to people of your age? I know Mumbai in Maharashtra is a place where you are modern, at the same time you have your, feet into the roots. This is
Hmm.
one place in the country which I really love to be, in Maharashtra. So a lot of inspiration will also be driven from what you are speaking out. So anything that you would like to share with other women who have never ever tasted, and we are attracted towards salsa and hip hop and jazz and many other dance forms
Hmm.
which are more popular, but I tell you the juice is more here in the classical arts.
Hmm.
because it will settle you from inside, not just make you dance. So that part is missing in many other art forms. That is my experience, and that is why I love Kathak and singing. So anything that
And
you
we also have our classical texts in our Abhinaya. So whichever art form we are learning, whether it's from the south, from the north, from the east, that regional literature that is coming in, we get to learn about those authors, the playwrights, the poets. There's so much mythology that comes in. And of course, Sanskrit, the Geet Govind is common. But then in Oriya literature, we have our poets. Then maybe in Tamil Nadu, there are others over there. So every region has so much of rich cultural heritage that is there that in our classical dances, it's more than just the physical movement, like you said. It's that education and those stories that are coming in. And it's not like a movie where different people are playing different characters. When you're doing a narrative poem, it's you yourself. You are switching among so many different characters. You're creating that story. We do live shows with the musicians right there. So it's not even recorded music. They are playing live, and that's a completely different experience. So as artists, we need to perform more so that people can see what is happening. Otherwise, we are just telling people you need to learn these dances. But if the shows are not there and performances are not there, live performances for classes and see what is going on. So it I feel it needs to work both ways, where the artists also need to present more and not just at temples, but more at places where everyone can come. Because now festival season is on here, so we know Ganpati, Dasara, that all these classical dances will be performed at temples. But then, what about people who can learn it not from the religion point of view, but from the mythology or from the literature point of view? So I am a Catholic. So when I came into Odissi, everything was new for me. So I'm also learning about mythologies. I got the Geet Govind book. I got the Abhinay Darpana. I took up a Sanskrit language and literature course. It was a distance learning course from Orissa. So I'm educating myself. I'm trying to learn what is happening. But unless these avenues are available for us to know what is out there, that becomes the primary goal. If I don't know something is out there, I can't join a class, I can't ask people about it. So the awareness that this opportunity is there, you can do that. That is what is needed, and that is what I really liked about this danceathon, where you're telling people that it's okay if you don't have any background, however old you are. In the class the other day, one of the students said she had paralysis and she's coming, and you were so welcoming. So even if it's one hand that is moving, you do something. But you're there, your presence is there, your mindfulness is there. So we need those opportunities that let us know that these art forms are out there and everyone is welcome. It's not just families whose forefathers might have been into it, but or someone like I know a lot of dancers who have full-time bachelor's and master's degrees in performing arts. I don't have something like that. My degree is in the science field. It's completely different. But I would like to learn Odissi. I would like to learn Kathak. I would like to know what is happening here. So, for people like us who are working in completely different fields, studied in completely different fields, the body is moving in a completely different way. How do we come and how are we welcome? How do we welcome ourselves? And as artists, how do we welcome other people like us? So that's something I would like to tell with older women. Like just go out, watch shows, meet dancers, not just the professionals who are on stage, but the audience members. Like talk to regular people. So I actually talk to the audience. So I know an Odissi dancer who started when she was 60, and her goal is to do her Manch Pravesh when she's 70. So these are just regular people I've met in the audience. I've not even seen them on stage, but they are there and you're surrounding yourself with these people. So that's what we need actually, that community and that cultural aspect, like a social group of people who want to do things, similar things that you want to do.
wonderful. Thank you so much for bringing this out. And you are right. Only a few families where forefathers have been doing are only prevalent in the artist areas. And one thing that I also see in those families is they want to teach, their heart is to teach people and make them dancers, but their entire life goes into making a few people good dancers.
Hmm.
So when I learned from childhood, I was not one of the good dancers because I had my studies alongside. I were giving engineering exams. I wanted to clear IIT and I had some dreams also. But alongside, this was something very strongly I held close
Hmm.
to my heart. And somehow I felt that there is a lack of a vision to spread this into the society. Even if you don't want to be a full-fledged dancer,
Ma'am, yes, that's right.
education has to go to every single house,
Hmm. Hmm.
because this everybody, at least the basics of
Hmm.
classical Indian music and dance, has to be reaching every house in the country. Only
Hmm.
then we are going to fall in love with this land,
Yes, ma'am.
which is missing,
Hmm.
because their whole life will go into performing or making the students stand up to the stage and perform. That's very good. But there's
Hmm.
the other side to it, which involves this art to be spread out to people.
Hmm.
So this is
Hmm.
just a small initiative, which I don't know from where I got this thought from childhood only. It just got a shape during the COVID times, and I
Hmm.
started this online.
Hmm.
Thank you. I had a wonderful time talking to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Renata, and wishing you all the best. And
Thank you, ma'am.
may all your dreams come true.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am. Bye.